Hello again. I'm a lucky guy. I mean, I'm locked up in a room right now, but I'm a lucky guy because I get to travel all around the world, meet a lot of people, and we've been focused pretty much on the US right now, but I was wondering how things are doing overseas. So I'd like to introduce everyone to a dear friend, Mark Hughes, Dr. Mark Hughes. Mark, how are you this morning? I hate to ask how are you, but how are you?
I'm, I'm very well, actually. Staying healthy, staying safe, spending time with my family. It's been good.
So just to let you, I'll embarrass him with just a little bit more of the top cosmetic dentists in the entire UK, I would say probably in the world. He's well known by people here. He spends time with Panky in the AACD. He's actually accredited at the British Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry, which is their equivalent. More importantly, he's a good friend. We've spent a lot of time together. We actually were supposed to meet up in June. That kind of fizzled. And but we have to change the title of this part here. It's not 10 at 10, it's 10 at 3. It's 3 p.m. where you are.
That's right.
His office is right in the midst of London. He's not too far from Buckingham Palace, right near Hyde Park. It's on a street called Harley Street, which is a well-known street. He can probably go to Harrods for lunch. So first of all, how's life in London? I mean, I've been watching the news, I've been reading The Guardian, seeing the photos of the tube and everything else. What's going on in your eyes?
Well, so we've had our official lockdown at the end of March. So we've been nearly 4 weeks into that. And the government had a refresher review this week, and it's likely we're going to be extended for another 3 weeks. So, and dentistry, you know, we saw the signs coming from Italy and from Spain. And so we tried to get all of our patients really into a holding pattern. Once we knew what was coming, it was the expectation of the tsunami hitting us. But we got officially told we could not treat any patients 23rd of March. So no emergencies, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. So the government were supposed to set up what were called urgent care dental centers. Of course, they still haven't really officially happened, but the only people able to treat patients in dentistry now are some of the major hospitals and only extreme emergencies. So everyone else is closed.
So I mean, you being in the cosmetic world, people's temps are coming off here and there, possibly things like that. What do they do?
Thank goodness. Nothing yet.
You make great temps.
Yeah. Okay. But like I said, we literally got people who were in provisionals. I had one lady who was in a full mouth rehab. She was in 6 months provisionals, and we raced the work through.
Oh, wow.
Got it seated literally the day before we were told we couldn't practice anymore. So I've been lucky. But I have a list that's growing every day of patients who are going to need care as soon as we open.
We're doing the same thing pretty much. We're allowed to go in for emergencies, but the definition of an emergency is kind of up in the air. So there's not a lockdown per se, at least where I am. In the city of Boston, it's a little tighter, but it's, you know, so we've had patients with swelling and things like that. A lot of it we can triage over the phone. I'm using things like Zoom, stuff like that. So we can use some teledentistry and more for reassurance, Mark, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I'm doing a lot of that, but equally so, the interest in the kind of work that I do is still coming in. So we set up online consults, which I've been doing for quite some time anyway.
Right, I know you did virtual consults, yeah.
Yeah, not only the virtual ones, but I've been doing live consults because we have patients that might live overseas. You know, they might be in their Invisalign treatment and need some reassurance. So that concept we were pretty well practiced in, and we're making more effort with that now.
How are you set, you personally and the dentist set for what we call protective equipment? Because I don't have access to that.
No, very, very poor. And that was one of the reasons we were shut down. And all the resources had to go to the NHS, which, you know, in the news every day, they're short of stuff. So, you know, it makes no sense for us to have it if they needed more. But coming out the other side, whether or not we're going to have access to adequate PPE it's an interesting debate. You know, I didn't know what an FPP3 mask was 6 months ago, and I have 4 now, different kinds.
Yeah, you get them where you can.
Yeah, and these are really samples that you know, I got in early, got some samples, you know, who was still supplying them, and had to use one for a week. I have a little boy who's got respiratory issues, and I had to be really, really careful. Yeah.
I have to just tell everybody that one of the things that I think Mark has been a pioneer in Britain is we all here make fun of people's teeth in Great Britain, and you sort of coined a little phrase called the long lip syndrome, which I love. I love the concept, and just tell everybody real quickly what that means.
Well, it was basically referring to the stiff upper lip. If you look at famous British people over the millennium, really, they tend not to show any teeth when they smile. So, called the glued lip syndrome.
So, and you've been doing, and you have quite an office. It's quite a large office, a lot of specialties, and you do everything from A to Z. So the treatment plans are pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, usually, and we've got a team of 50 in one practice.
And you go beyond. I mean, if you go into some facial cosmetics too, as far as I remember.
Yeah, very much so. That's something that a lot of dentists do in the UK now. And I'm working with a plastic surgeon colleague of mine, a cosmetic doctor. We have a new clinic as well near my home, and it's really integrating, full facial analysis, global facial treatment planning, and aesthetics and dentistry. So yeah, we're doing a lot of that now.
Well, tell me about Brexit for a second. What's going on there? The best you can tell us.
Well, we have officially left the European Union.
Yeah.
It's now the negotiations between how that exit actually happens, where the transactions happen. That's what they're supposed to be in the middle of, but that's all been put on hold.
Sure.
As you might imagine, our own Prime Minister was in intensive care.
Right. Yeah, that was international news, of course.
Yeah. So he could have gone one way or the other. Thankfully, he's pulled through, and hopefully we can see this through as well. And the interesting thing was we had a bit of an economic plateau for about 2 years because of Brexit.
Right.
Things were really beginning to start shifting in the right direction, and then before you know it, virus hits us.
So how do you see coming out of this, whatever that means, the way you're going to be practicing? I mean, things are going to be quite different in the way you even have a waiting room at this point. I mean, what do you personally see?
Well, I think there's going to be some short-term implications. I would imagine that our government and our governing bodies are going to allow some dentistry to begin in the next few weeks as an essential service. I would imagine we'll have to practice social distancing, the use, clever use of waiting rooms, etc., and proper personal protective equipment for aerosol generating procedures, and try to reduce aerosol generating procedures. And I think that's going to continue for some time. So we're lucky. We have 3 waiting rooms in one practice, 2 in another. We could easily have 10 people in the practice and not be within 2 meters of each other. And we have the luxury that we have multiple offices, or multiple, what you call operatories.
Yeah.
So you can use one, clean it. And for many years, something I learned at Pankey was about zoning the diary. So when I prep teeth, it's on a particular day, and the room is prepped for preps, and I don't do consults, or I do those in a different room. So I think there'll be more of that, planning your day carefully.
Wow. Well, this is an eye-opener, to say the least, for all of us. Frustrating, of course. A family life is a little different, which is, I guess, a bonus. But
Yeah.
you look well.
Thank you. I've lost about a stone.
Yeah. And I haven't had a chance. Yeah, look at you. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go and get my haircut, which I really don't care about, as you know, anyway. So, well, Mark, it's been a real pleasure. I hope a lot of people will take a look at this, and if we have some questions, I'll field them over to. I'll field them over to you. I'll sort them out for you.
Sure.
But what is the name of the practice if they're looking for the website itself?
So defineclinic.com.
Defineclinic.com.
Defineclinic.com. And then we have another practice called harleystreetdentalstudio.com.
So take a look at these, because you'll see some really amazing. We think we're such hotshots here in the U.S. Wait till you see what Mark's got going over there. Quite a great service to people. And again, Mark, I wish you all the best. Just your family the best, your patients the best, and I hope I see you soon.
Yeah, me too. Take care. The opportunity to say hi.
Great.
Take care. Stay safe.
Okay, thanks.